Hello and welcome back to the Bitter BM podcast. I'm Felicia, your Bitter BM, and here I speak about all the things that made me bitter but transformed me into the person I am today. So, today we're actually going to switch it up. Rather than my life story, we're going to speak about something that's in current events, mainly breakups that relate to baby mamas. That's going to be like a new segment. Today's baby mama breakup is actually between Jhene Aiko, or Jhene Aiko. I apologize if I'm not pronouncing her name correctly. And Big Sean. Now, I know a lot of channels will do the topic related to the subject matter of their interracial relationship, but I'm actually going to speak on the length of their relationship, which they're saying was 10 years. Mind you, none of us really know how long they've been together. So they were together for 10 years and they finally broken it off, allegedly because Jhené wants to get married, and Big Sean had an interview on The Breakfast Club where he said that's not going to happen right now or anytime soon. Interestingly enough, I was with my kid's father for 10 years before I finally broke it off. And the reasons I broke my relationship off was because of some of the emotional abuse that was taking place. I was maturing and realizing that this is not what I wanted for myself. And I have to say that maybe Jhene has finally matured enough to realize what is good for her and what is not good for her. When you're young and you're in love and you're with somebody, you sort of just want to go along to get along. You don't really want to ruffle the feathers and cause problems in the relationship, because then you figure out that everything's going to get or might get blamed on you anyways. In my case, what used to happen every time I wanted to break things off, I was told that, I would be doing the worst thing by breaking up with him because I'm ruining the family and the family unit. And to be honest, a lot of women do stay in relationships because they want their children to either grow up in a two-parent home or they want to have a good co-parenting relationship with their child's father. In my case, I can say that initially I wanted the two-parent home. I wanted that. And we lived together for a very short while, but we couldn't co-parent after that because he wanted to be vindictive and thought that by not supporting my kids that he was going to hurt me. But in the long term, he just ended up hurting himself. In Jhené's case, and only she could speak on it, it could be a situation as well where she wanted her son or daughter, I'm not sure what child they had, to grow up in a two-parent home. And so she hung on to the relationship, trying to maintain that for as long as she could. Now, allegedly, she wanted to get married, and people are saying, well, you knew he didn't want to marry you and you still stayed. You never know. People can change. And I think another factor why women stay in these long-term relationships that end up going nowhere is because you're waiting for the man to change. The funny thing is, women cannot change men. Nobody can change anybody, to be honest. People change for themselves and for the reasons that they want to change. If they don't want to change for you, they don't find you significant or important enough to actually make the changes that you want. And in waiting for your partner to change, you kind of just sit in limbo. You see the mistakes and you give them the advice and you try to push them in the direction that you want them to go. But I find that a lot of times when people are not willing to change, the mistakes just keep piling up. It's like one mistake after another after another. And then after a while, you just kind of get tired of it. You're like, why am I here? Why am I allowing this person to treat me this way? Why am I allowing all this to slide? And that song that goes, when a woman's fed up. Yeah, a lot of us reach our breaking point where we've had enough, and maybe Jhene has had her enough moment. I don't know exactly when they broke up. They could have broke up 2 years ago and are just announcing it. But she's probably had her enough moment. She could be choosing herself at this moment where she is realizing that, hey, maybe I'm not being valued in this relationship. I'm not being treated how I'd like to be treated in this relationship. I don't like the dynamics. I mean, if there's like infidelity, that's very emotional and emotionally scarring. If there is abuse, there's also that. There could be like financial abuse. I remember one time I was breaking up with somebody, and my own mother said to me that I shouldn't break up with them because of what they do for me and my kids, i.e., they took very good care of us. And she was basically telling me that I should accept the cheating and the emotional abuse that came with that for or in exchange for financial support. I was appalled. I was appalled that I was told that as her only girl child, her only daughter. And I said no. I still broke up with them and I left it at that. I think why she may have stayed in the relationship for this long, self-confidence, self-love, valuing yourself. A lot of women that stay in relationships that don't satisfy them emotionally don't have very high confidence, don't value themselves, and so they don't know how other people should value them. And that is just something that women have to learn. People in general have to learn how to put value on themselves, how not to be or become a doormat for other people. Like, value yourself enough to recognize when you're not being treated how you want to be treated. First of all, know how you want to be treated going into a relationship with anyone. Know what you value. Know what your intentions are. Like, what do you want out of the relationship? Do you want marriage? Do you just want a partner? Know what you want. And in knowing what you want going into the relationship, I think it makes it more clear to recognize when things aren't going your way. I'm sure over the years, Jhene saw and heard where Big Sean was very adamant about the fact that he did not want to get married. And it could be a childhood thing where he never saw his parents being married, or he never saw healthy relationships in marriage. It could be that he is fearful. The big thing now amongst men is that if you get married, then half of your wealth is going to disappear in the divorce. You get married to stay married. If you're getting married with the intention of getting divorced, or the fear that you're going to get divorced and you don't want to do it because then you're going to come out of it broke and destitute, then by all means, don't get married. I think that if a lot of people had a more positive outlook on marriage in these times, a lot more marriages would last. I feel people don't want to put in the work. If I were to ever get married, my partner and I are going through like a year's worth of counseling, individual counseling to, unmask and unearth all the childhood traumas, and then couples counseling so that one, we could get to know each other a lot better and then work on what we intend to have our marriage look like. Now, going into her next relationship, Jhene knows that she wants to get married, so it'll be easier to navigate who she decides to get with, because now whoever she's getting with, or whoever is courting her for a relationship, she is going to ask them and make sure that they want to get married, that marriage is a goal at the end of their relationship. Big Sean, I don't know what he wants to do. Maybe he wants to play the field. Maybe he wants to get married when he's 50. Like my ex told me he was going to marry me when I was 40. And I was like, okay, sure. And I left. But even then, at the time, I wasn't thinking about marriage because I saw all these red flags, all these actions that didn't match up to what was coming out of his mouth. And so I could not agree to that. And I wasn't willing to make a compromise on something that wasn't working out for me. It probably would have worked out for him, but then I would be in a marriage that I would not be happy in. And what's the point? Just don't do it. I will applaud Jhene for not having any more kids. Mind you, her child is young. And I would say for women who are in relationships that they are not certain of the outcome, like you don't know if you're going to get married, you want to get married, but your spouse doesn't want to, or they're trying to like keep you in limbo because they don't want you to get with anybody else, don't have any more children. Don't have any more children, because having more children anchors you even more to that person. And not because, it's so bad to have kids for somebody that you're not with. I mean, biblically and societally, it's frowned upon, yes, but it happens to everybody. So let's get over that already. But having kids, more and more kids for somebody you're in a relationship with that you don't see a future with, is the most terrible idea. Because when that person or you get ready to end the relationship, it is not going to be nice, especially if they don't have any intention of taking care of your kid outside of you guys being together. It is the worst. Ask me how I know. Some men have no intention of marrying their baby mamas. They don't want to be anchored to the kid, much less the woman. Hence why a lot of them move on after they break up and start new families. Now, it's frowned upon for women to move on and start new families, i.e. Cardi B, my girl. There will be no Cardi B slander over here, okay? What she does is her business, and she'll get her video one day. But men can move on from the women and their children and start new families as if nothing ever happened. And the women are left to pick up the pieces. Is it fair? Absolutely not. But patriarchy has convinced society that this is the way it's supposed to go. At some point, I could imagine that Jhene may have vocalized what she wanted out of the future of the relationship. And in doing so, Big Sean had to do that as well. And that is where they came to blows and just couldn't find a solution. And so the relationship had to come to an end. Listen, let people know what you want immediately. I think that as adults, it's the mature thing to do, because you then just waste your time. 10 years is a long time to be with somebody. And if you want to get married, to not have gotten married. Now, there are some people who are together for 20 years and then get married on the 25th year. Kudos to you. But if you know that you want to get married, don't waste your time in a relationship just seeing where it goes, or waiting for your partner to change their mind to decide that they want to get married. So let me know what y'all think. Do y'all think that Big Sean and Jhené's relationship ended after 10 years without marriage because she was trying to maintain that two-parent household, perfect co-parenting relationship with him? Or do you think that she wasn't confident and valuing herself over the years and came into valuing herself? Or is it that she didn't know what she wanted initially, and over time learned that she wanted marriage and they just couldn't come to a solution, and so the relationship ended? Let me know what y'all think. And thank you for watching the Bitter BM podcast. I'll see you guys next time. Ciao.